Hey everybody, Star 6 Wars 1 here, and welcome to my next anime review. For this one, we take a look at Kill la Kill. Now, like other anime I've reviewed in the past, I got a bit of a history with Kill la Kill. Back around the time this was airing in 2014, I did try to watch Kill la Kill, but at the time I only got through 2 episodes and wrote it off as an inferior Gurren Lagann clone. And I wouldn't pick it up again until around the final months of 2015 because a friend of mine wanted to see it with me. Having now finished it, was I right in my thoughts of calling it a Gurren Lagann clone? Or is there something more that I didn't see before? Let's find out. First up, the story. In a school where school uniforms determine power, wealth, and status, run by a dictator student council president named Satsuki and her elite four guard, comes a transfer student by the name of Ryoko with a bad attitude, a scissor blade, and quest to find her father's killer. But she's not alone, quickly making friends with a hyperactive student named MaKo and gaining a sentient sailor uniform by the name of Sanketsu. Together, will they find Ryoko's father's killer, or will they be another victim of Hinoji Academy and its dark secrets? Okay, overblown premise aside, the story of Kill la Kill is all over the place. It feels like they didn't always plan the entirety of the series and sometimes more or less drop certain plot threads and themes in favor of other ones. I won't say which ones because of spoilers, but it can be on the annoying side from time to time. The pacing. Oh my god, the pacing. Sometimes it felt like episodes flew right by, then other times an episode could just drag on longer than needed. That's not even going into some episodes themselves where moments would either be done in perfect time, too fast, or too slow. Long story short, the pacing is a mess. I also felt like Kill la Kill could have been a few episodes shorter. I've heard some say Kill la Kill could have been 12 episodes and being fine. While I disagree with that, I do think a few episodes in the series, specifically episode 4 and around the halfway point, could have been cut with very little being lost to the overall story. Though the biggest story's problem is easily how stupid it can be. Just look at the premise again and don't tell me it doesn't sound dumb. It's not the only example in the anime, but the point is it can go full on stupid sometimes, and not always in a good way. Now I'm done being negative, let's look at its positive aspects, because there are a lot. Firstly, as stupid as Kill la Kill can be, it does seem to be pretty self-aware of that and embraces it, which I find admirable, even if it's not the best executed at times. Almost every episode is entertaining to watch, even non-plot relevant episodes like 4 still find a way to be entertaining. Even if the events aren't always the great themselves, I find myself engrossed with the story from beginning to end. Finally, while not always the best executed, the messages of the anime are well-meaning and are themselves good themes. Overall, while it's a mess, the story is at least fun to watch and does have moments of greatness sprinkled throughout. For the characters, let's start with our main character of Ryoko. She is brash, impulsive, quick to anger, ready for a fight, but does have her softer moments every once in a while. I'm not gonna beat around the bush for this one. I feel very mixed towards Ryoko. On the one hand, compared to other characters of her archetype like Shadow and Eren, she isn't all that bad, and does have her likable moments here and there, especially when MaKo and Sanketsu are involved. On the other hand, she has plenty of problems to her character. For one, her more bitchy moments can be hard to sit through on an enjoyment level, and at times come off as outright annoying. The whole, I must get revenge for such and such, is an archetype that has been done to death. And aside from maybe her gender, she doesn't do anything really new with it, or make it all that interesting. Thankfully, that's not all to her character, unlike, say, Eren, but she doesn't do enough to warrant a pass for that aspect to her either. Finally, for someone whose theme is don't lose your way, she loses it quite a bit. Now, this wouldn't necessarily be a problem if not for 2 things. One, she loses her way at least one too many times. One time would be fine to give character growth to her, but she goes overboard with them, and during one of them she makes outright stupid decisions that she should know by this point are stupid decisions. I wouldn't be as bothered by this if not for the second problem in this situation, and that is the anime loves to hammer in every episode to not lose your way. Hearing it and thinking of how many times Ryoko loses her way bothers me on both a critical and enjoyment level. She's not terrible, but Ryoko leaves a lot to be desired. Probably the most polarizing characters in all of Kill la Kill is easily MaKo. She is a huge ball of adorable energy from her first scene to her last moment. She's crazy but loving, sweet but has her limits. Nothing will stop her from helping Ryoko in her quest. She can just be a joy to watch. A lot of her scenes are used to elevate tension that's going on and used to keep Kill la Kill from getting too serious. This is both her ultimate strength as well as her biggest weakness. It's her strength because it makes her more memorable, and for me at least, more likable than she already was by having her both be the voice of reason and comedy relief for the anime. On the other hand, this also breaks immersion for certain scenes and hurts the pacing of the anime worse than it already is. Many have seen her as annoying and the worst character of the anime, or the most enjoyable character and the heart and soul of Kill la Kill. And both sides have a good point. Myself, I love MaKo, but I think her presence in Kill la Kill hinders the anime more than it helps. While she is a better character than Ryoko in some cases, she is the cause of a lot of problems in the story where immersion and pacing are concerned. Overall, it's not hard to see why MaKo is such a polarizing character in the series. Next up on the roster, we got Satsuki, the student council president for Hinoji Academy and rival to Ryoko. For a good majority of the anime, she is high and mighty in personality, though for good reason as she is very strong in both will and power. Though rare to see, she does have a softer side to her, as she is shown to care for her Elite Four and students under her. However, cross her and she will make you pay. A lot of people seem to really like Satsuki, and for good reason, but I wish I liked her more than I actually do. It's not that I hate the character, hell, she's a better character than MaKo and I prefer her over Ryoko. It's just that I feel she doesn't have enough to her to make her a personal favorite character of mine, which is a shame because she could have easily been one, I feel. At the very least though, she has presence to her and is an entertaining and the best main character. I just personally felt beyond her badass moments and certain other moments, she didn't give enough for me to really care about her character more than I would have liked. She's debatably the best character, but not my favorite character in Kill la Kill. For our final main character, we got the sailor uniform, Sanketsu. Compared to Ryoko's hot-blooded personality, Sanketsu is the cool-headed one and voice of reason for Ryoko. He's much more cautious, but does himself have a hot-bloodedness to him that is similar to Ryoko. In short, he's the perfect mentor and partner to Ryoko. My thoughts on him are simply he's okay. He doesn't have the presence of Satsuki nor the energy of MaKo, making him feel lacking overall. However, compared to Ryoko, I like him a lot more, probably because of his personality, which gives him enough for me to like him, just not much else. For those reasons, he's one of the weaker characters in Kill la Kill, but still has enough for him to be memorable. Now, I run into a problem here because I want to talk about certain side characters. I'd have to go into spoilers, which for this review, I'd rather not go into. On top of that, I have a lot of thoughts on this side cast in general. So what I'm going to do is avoid talking about the side characters that have to do with spoilers, and only briefly go into some highlight characters I think deserve a mention. Now on that note, we have Satsuki's Elite Four. Firstly, Gamagori. He's just a joy to watch every moment he's on screen, and steals the anime for me. He is easily my favorite character in Kill la Kill. Next we have Sanagayama, another really entertaining character and joy to watch, just not to the same level as Gamagori, but has his moments as well. Next we have Nonon, who, like the previous two, is a really entertaining character to watch, and I just enjoy her personality and her banter with the other characters. Though, for the final Elite Four member, we get to my least favorite character in Kill la Kill, Yamata. Take what I said about Sanketsu, but none of the positives, and you get him. He does nothing for me to make up for his boring personality. Then we get Ryoko's teacher, who is hilarious to watch, but that's about it for me. Finally, we get MaKo's family, who each have great personalities and make for great comedy relief, though sometimes share the same problems I had with MaKo herself. I'll go into these and other side characters in a separate video, as I feel I can't do the side characters justice here in this review, but I will say I find the side cast overall better than our main characters. It's not that they are bad, but I just have a lot more fun and think the side cast is better. Overall though, Kill la Kill has a very interesting and fun to watch cast that I adore. The animation for Kill la Kill was done by Studio Trigger, which has also done the two Little Witch of Academia films, Ninja Slayer from Animation and Inferno Cop. Kill la Kill animation wise is all over the place. Sometimes things can look really good with the direction they use despite some limitations in budget. The scale they have for many scenes, as well as used very effectively when it's called for, and the character designs which give the more important characters unique designs. However, you can tell the animation had a very limited budget, as I just mentioned. Shortcuts on animation are used, movements can look very choppy and downright awful looking at times, though still somehow entertaining. They reuse animation a lot, and sometimes they will use still frames. For some shows, these problems would be a deal breaker. However, I think it has a certain charm to it. Trigger is essentially a new Gainax, both in strengths and weaknesses. And Gainax isn't known for having the best budgets around either. What I'm getting at is Kill la Kill looks like a Gainax enemy, even if it looks shitty at points. Overall, while inconsistent and terrible looking at the worst of times, the animation still has that Gainax feel that I love to see. The OST was composed by Hiroyuki Sawano, who is very well known for his other OSTs in Blue Exorcist, Aldino Zero, Guilty Crown, and Attack on Titan. I personally think this is Sawano's best OST to date. I feel that his style really works with Kill la Kill better than the other OSTs he's made. A lot of the tracks have a grand feel to them, and it's just glorious to behold. Tracks like Blumenkranz, Before My Body is Dry, Suck My Blood, Gamagori's theme, Nui's theme, and so many more just add to why I love this soundtrack just so much, and it's so amazing. On top of that, it can be subtle when it needs to be, which, given previous works of Sawano, is quite surprising. Overall, a personal favorite soundtrack of mine, and worth your time to listen to. Now, Kill la Kill has two opening themes, and I find both pretty good. Both give the hype I need for an episode, especially the second opening. Both are visually nice and a joy to watch. I do slightly prefer the second opening because I just kind of like the music more, but both are great in their own right. Like the openings, Kill la Kill has two ending themes, but unlike the openings, I only really like the first ending theme. The first ending theme is catchy and nice to look at, which is all I'm asking for with an ending theme. Then we get to the second ending theme, and I don't really like it all that much. It's not so much the song or visuals of it I dislike, it's more its usage of the ending theme that bothers me. It sounds like a very happy-go-lucky song with visuals to match. Now, this wouldn't be a problem, except it plays right after moments of tension and suspense, which creates a mood whiplash in all the wrong ways. I feel it hurts those moments, and like MaKo, the second ending theme breaks immersion to those scenes of suspense. Overall, excluding the second ending theme, Kill la Kill has great openings and a great ending theme. Now, should you go sub or dub with this one? I watched 2 episodes of the sub during my first attempt of seeing Kill la Kill, and I wasn't fond of it. I didn't hate it, I just wasn't impressed by it. As for the dub, well, it was made by Bang Zoom, who, as I mentioned in my Dororo review, has a hit or miss track record. Luckily for the most part, Kill la Kill has a good dub. Most of the voice actors give great performances to the characters and are very lively in them. Special mention goes to Christine Marie Canbos and Patrick Sides, who voice MaKo and Gamagori with masterful expertise and really fit the role. However, the dub isn't perfect. I feel the voice for Satsuki and Sanketsu were lacking, with Kari Karain, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, who voiced Satsuki. She felt drier and not as good as the others, and with Sanketsu's voice actor David Vincent, I felt he lacked the energy the voice actors had. Finally, and this is just a nitpick, but I didn't like how they pronounced Sanketsu in the dub. I know it's a dumb complaint, but it bothered me to hear Senketsu instead of Sanketsu, which I was more used to. Those things aside, I recommend Kill la Kill dubbed. I feel the dub fits more with Kill la Kill's tone and style, very much like Gurren Lagann before it. To put it simply, Kill la Kill is all over the place. It's got a lot of energy and some really good messages to it, but it's also got a really stupid plot and a crapload of pacing problems. It's got some really interesting and entertaining characters, especially in the side cast, but the main characters aren't as great as the side cast, and MaKo's mere existence creates as many problems for Kill la Kill as she fixes. The animation can look really well done with its direction and scale, however, it can also look really cheaply made and outright terrible looking. In short, Kill la Kill is a huge mess. At the same time though, Kill la Kill has one big thing that many anime of this decade lack. It's fun as hell. Many anime I've seen this decade either try to take themselves way too seriously, or had interesting ideas but didn't know what to do with itself and ended up being a disappointment as a result. But these anime often forget how to have fun, something Kill la Kill does have. Kill la Kill is many things, but it isn't boring. It's stupid fun and it knows it, and I think for that reason, and for many others I've said throughout the review, Kill la Kill is a modern classic. Anyways, that's all from me. This has been Star 6 Wars 1, and I'll see you next time.